friends and enemies. I don't know if it looks this way to you guys, but I was watching some clickbait YouTube channel the other day that I won't name, but I name all the time. And the guys, when the show goes live, are like waiting. They're looking in the corner for the StreamYard thing to go live, and then they hit you with the clickbait, like yelling. We'll never do that here, but I do have to wait sometimes to see if that thing goes live before I start talking. Anyway, solo tonight, at least for the time being, as far as Len is concerned. But I am here with Praveen Perera, Cove Wallet developer. I don't know if he's a software engineer. He's definitely engineered this thing. It's not every day that we preview, show off some new tech in Bitcoin that I get excited about. Len is the one who talks about nodes and other nonsense all the time. I really don't care most of the time, but I love a good wallet, and I'm so sick of blue. Green wallet sucks, and I think this one might be my go-to, certainly on my phone. So we'll get to all that. First, though, the sponsors. You guys know them. You love them. EasyDNS. Mark and team, been friends to the show for a long time. Just saw Mark yesterday, actually. Gifted him a CBP miner. Lots to talk about on the EasyDNS side. I don't know how to change my thing here. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The EasyDNS service is basically the best place for you to either buy, host, port, use, registrar services. Mark is the friendly neighborhood registrar. He's got everything there, including domain share. So when you sign up for a domain, no one from some unknown third world country hacks you, claims to be Coinbase, claims to be your mother, claims to be your father, whatever. Grabs your user data, grabs your client list, spoofs your email server, all these things. You don't want that if you're hosting a website, hosting a service, running a business. Mark makes sure it doesn't happen. And then obviously for the Bitcoin enthusiast, of which there are many watching this show, you can do anything with the virtual private server stuff that your little heart can dream up. We talk a lot about the BTC Pay server stuff, nodeless implementations, Nostr, relays, things of this nature, all done the easy way with EasyDNS. Money back guarantee if you don't like the service, but I can't figure out why you wouldn't like the service. No one's ever asked for their money back from Mark. And if you go there and patronize Mark, you get 50% off your first round of buys. Use the code CBP Media, tell them we sent you, and you get that deal. Second sponsor, Bull Bitcoin. Not many other places you'd rather be buying Bitcoin and selling Bitcoin, certainly not in this country. And as they expand to the rest of the world, I think it's safe to say for the rest of the world as well. These guys are led by a group of extremists, one of my most fun group chats. I won't say it's the most fun. I'll say it's tied for first with another one. But these guys, for a Bitcoin company to go all in on self-custody when no one else was doing it, huge. For a Bitcoin company to go all in on living on a Bitcoin standard when no one else was doing it, huge. And not to mention they have great spreads, very low fees, privacy by default with their tools on every buy. And as I mentioned, should you be one of these people who want to live on a Bitcoin standard, do so over there, not just with gift cards, man. You can go there, use bills to pay your mortgage, your credit card statement, your cell phone bill, everything but the bar tab you skipped on last night, which you can't beat. We have a promo code. It's in the chat. Go there, sign up if you haven't already. Crazy if you haven't, but if you haven't, get $21 pumped into your account. Praveen Perera's here. The Maxi, the... I don't know. What else should I call you? You're the dev of Cove Wallet. Hilarious. Praveen's camera not focusing. There, he's working on it. He's deving up a wallet, but he cannot dev up a proper camera setup. His mic is also muted. I can see. Hilarious. Just completely discombobulated, unprepared. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you.
Hey, I don't know what's wrong with my camera. It's kind of crap right now. Good. Let me try and get this thing figured out. Jeez.
In the meantime, Praveen is looking at that. I'm going to pull up the website for Cove Wallet. If you haven't heard of Cove Wallet yet, you ought to have. It is the wallet that is simple but not stripped down. And Praveen's been working on this for some time. We've been fortunate at CBP to be able to actually see some of the stuff he's been working on behind the scenes. And I think this is really good stuff. I have it on my phone. I will admit that I have not sent any sats with it, but I have messed around a little bit. It's clean, it's easy, and it's free as well. Obviously, I mean, who's charging for this stuff? But Praveen, when you started working on this, Like there's a lot of people who fucking bitch and whine on Bitcoin Twitter, as you know. It's like the home for bitching and whining about UI, about software, about hardware. You got major corporations bashing each other and pretending they're friends, like, you know, NVK and the Ledger guys, and you got you know, the folks over at Blockstream talking about how the Jade is improved, and then they send out the second version of the Jade. It's just as dog shit as the first. Like people are just they're not really improving, implementing, doing any of the things people are asking for. You started doing this. Like, why'd you start doing this? What made you think you could finally do something better than what these guys have been doing?
Honestly, it was kind of, I basically made this for myself, I think, if I like think about it. Cause, you know, on the computer, I use Sparrow like probably most people, at this point. Sparrow's great, right? Is that what you use?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And on my phone, I basically use Green, but use with Green, use was just like being able to look at the transactions, because I couldn't actually send transactions because I can't. There's like no coin control, right?
Yeah.
And I can't use it with my cold card, tap sign, or none of that, right? So, so I was just kind of surprised, like, as I was using Bitcoin more, I didn't want to have to go to the computer every time to basically send transactions to someone. You know, everybody has their like deep cold storage wallet that Bitcoin only comes in, and like I think that's how most people start, right? And for that, yeah, just use Sparrow, just do it on your computer. But as you get into Bitcoin more, and you know, actually start using it more, then you kind of come into the situation where like, hey, you know, I'd like to use it with my phone, maybe with like QR codes with the cold cards or NFC, whatever, and I don't want to have to go to my computer every time. So that's kind of how I came onto it, and like I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm just supporting all the Bitcoin like standards, you know, like PSBTs, the different bips, and the biggest thing is just trying to make it easy for people. And I think I have some experience with that just from just kind of helping people get started with Bitcoin. You know, you kind of know where people struggle, and it's good to know people like Plate who need help.
I love a good stray on this show. Okay, so
no, he's been super helpful with the feedback. Like,
because you need someone, not to like pick on him, but do you not need newbies or people who are just not crazy about their setup, right? Like everyone kind of knows how to use Sparrow. Sparrow's I would guess the cream of the crop for like desktop wallets. But again, like when I think about the mobile wallet landscape, there's nothing really good. Nothing really stands out.
Yeah. Yeah, he's helpful because like it's kind of like learning something new. Sometimes the best people to teach you is someone that just learned it, because like as you become an expert, you forget what you struggled with when you first started, right? So I've been trying to get more new people to give me feedback, not just like experienced people, and yeah, that's been helpful.
Okay, so what have you? So give me just sort of the rundown here of what you've done besides the, you know, making it simple. We talked a little bit about coin control. You're supporting a lot of the standard, like the Bitcoin standards, overused term, but we'll use it here. And then you also support some cold card stuff. I'll cop to that. We spoke this morning. You told me to import my XPub to Sparrow. I didn't do it because I had a busy day, and now we're going to talk about it instead. But you've obviously like done some stuff here that other wallets you think are either not doing that well or that could be done better on mobile, adding some functionality. Give me the rundown.
Yeah. So just one thing is just try to make everything as easy as possible. Try to get rid of all the unnecessary menus and stuff like that, for example. So let's say if you had imported it, like I told you, you would have seen, basically there's a few ways to import it. You can go in through the menu and say, add a wallet.
Yeah.
But the easiest way, what you can do is if you go back to the first screenshot, just scroll up.
Yep. Okay, hold on here. Oh, here we go.
So yeah, so you see that QR button at the top right?
Yeah.
So that's basically like a catch-all button. You can scan any QR and Cove will figure out. basically any QR, and it'll figure out what to do. So if you go, if you scan an address off, obviously it'll take you to send some Bitcoin. But if you were to import from your cold card, you know how there's like a bunch of different formats you can import from?
Yeah.
It'll support any of them. So you select any of them, like just don't think, just go through it, pick one, scan the QR, and it'll import it. Just little stuff like that, like try to take out as many like decisions and thinking as possible. Like,
Okay, so here, let's do it. Let's do it live on the air. I have a queue. I'm in the menu here on Sparrow on a second screen. I'm in the export on the settings for that queue wallet, that tab. Can I do it without having the hardware wallet with me?
Yeah, you can do it through Sparrow.
Okay, it's just export file, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you could go through the file, but you could also just scan the QR directly.
Okay, so which one do I pick? There's like a bunch of different options here. Electrum, personal server, labels, output, blah, blah, blah. Some of them have the show option. Like I'm assuming that's the that's the QR code option.
Yeah. So from Sparrow, the way I usually I think is a lot of those should work because of the formats are the same. But on the Sparrow, if you go to the wallet, you go to settings. You see in the settings, it's there's like a couple subheadings. It goes settings and then script policy, and so it's like descriptor. If you hit that QR there.
Tools. Okay, wait a minute. File settings.
No, not file settings. Just in like just that blue.
On
blue
the side
bar.
menu here.
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
The descriptor policy or like script policy descriptor. Is a QR. Yeah, just hit that. And at the bottom, it just says show BBQR.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah, and I'm sure the other.
Look at that! That fucking worked right away. Yeah. Wow. That is impressive stuff. That's great. Okay, wicked.
Yeah. So we do a lot of I do a lot of little things like that. Like something I've noticed is like people go through the cold card menus and it gets to like, okay, do you want like P2SH? Do you want legacy? Like everyone's like, what the hell is this, right?
Yes.
So like an example of what we do is like if you go on cold card and scan like I think the JSON, basically that gives you for all three address types. Mm-hmm. We'll try to best guess like what you want, and like 99% of the time you're probably using a BC1 like a SegWit address. Right?
Yeah, of course.
So we'll put you in that wallet and like scan for transactions, but in the background we'll scan for transactions on the other two as well. So
Sick.
For the 1% of users that are actually wanting a different wallet type, if we find a transaction, we'll say, hey, you got addresses in the other ones. Which one do you want to pick, right? So that's kind of these are very specific examples, but I'm trying to get you like get across the thought process behind this. It's mostly like try to keep things as simple as possible. Try to avoid like questions. Try to do the 90% thing like right away, but always have like escape hatch for the people that want to do something more advanced or something weird, right? So even the send flow right now, we don't do coin control, but there is a way to do that, but it's a little hidden. Like I don't want to confuse new users with like, hey, now you have to choose which coins to send, right? But if you know about coin control, you'll know where it is, basically.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to try, I don't know, I guess I probably can't send with this wallet now, right? But
no.
Yeah, but this is like the send menu. See, this is the thing for me. Like I've been in Bitcoin a long time, but I'm not like a technical expert. To be honest with you, I don't know that much about the technical side. The sort of rationale for the BC1 addresses, was difficult for me to pick up at first. Like I didn't really learn about SegWit and all that in detail until ordinals came around. And, like looking at the style of this wallet and sort of the breakdown of, what you're saying, this idea that most people need to get 80% or 90% of what ends up being the most commonly used Bitcoin methods, get that right and make it easy, and then people will stick around. I should mention you got a grant from OpenSats, did you not?
Yes. Thanks OpenSats. I mean, without them, I couldn't be able to do this because I've been doing basically full time with this for the last, almost how long has it been? Like 9 months now.
That's crazy. So when they give you the grant, what was the rationale for them? Because I mean, they must have a million people knocking on their door, doing projects that are, I don't want to say similar because it kind of cheapens what you've been able to pull off here, but like they're doing similar stuff. So what was the rationale? What did you tell them when you said, look, like I'm the one who deserves this grant, not these other clowns, not these other posers and losers. It was me that deserves it.
My pitch was basically the same pitch that I had for you. I think like this idea is like really simple, but like not a lot of people are like, I don't think a lot of people are doing it because it's almost too simple. It's not like, it's not flashy. It's not exciting. It's not lightning. It's not layer 2, right? OpenSats, they do a lot of like work, grants for like background kind of work. That's like kind of the core, this other stuff is built on, making lightning better, a lot of stuff like that. And like basically anybody making a wallet right now is not making on-chain wallet, right?
Yeah.
Let alone for mobile. If it's a mobile wallet, it's going to be a lightning wallet, right? So I feel like with this I'm zigging when everyone's zagging or whatever that term is, because I'm coming in and I'm saying explicitly we're not doing lightning. We're never going to do lightning. We're not doing any layer 2s. We're not doing liquid. This is just on-chain. So so I think it ended up being like a unique proposal because it's in some ways boring.
Yeah. Do you think, okay, so you're sort of planting your flag on a number of things that would upset my absent co-host. Like he's big on lightning. A lot of guys are big on lightning, honestly, Praveen. Yeah. Like I look around the landscape and I see people talking about how layer 2 is the reason we're going to be able to manage transaction fees and still pay miners. It's going to help us get to nirvana. We're all going to get girlfriends thanks to lightning or whatever the meta meme is that week. Do you really think that you're just going to go full on chain forever? Like I've not heard this from a wallet. In fact, to your point, when I think about the wallets that are out there, blue, green, there's probably others that I'm not thinking of. They're all now leaning into this other stuff. And there's even, I don't want to brag on Cold Card, but I think Cold Card even thought about or maybe has support for stuff like ordinals, right? Like really flash in the pan, short-lived kind of popular uses for Bitcoin. And you're going the other direction. Like, are you really willing to plant your flag there? Why are you willing to plant your flag there?
Yeah. I mean, before that, I don't know about the Cold Card stuff. I think maybe they have the SAT chip thing, like where you can put it into art or something.
That's right. I
think if anything, that's kind of like a statement against like this is stupid digital art shit, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't want to give the impression that I hate lightning or I'm against lightning. I like lightning. I usually just use custodial lightning. I've helped a bunch of people with lightning nodes, and it's always a mess, right? Like it works until it doesn't, and then like if you're not technical, you're gonna have a hard time figuring out. But that's kind of here nor there. I'm not against lightning wallets. Right now my main lightning wallet is probably Primal, the Nostr.
Oh, really? Okay.
The Nostr app.
Nice.
It's just I just wanted this to be really focused, right? It's just like I think simplicity comes from focus. It's not that I don't like lightning. It's just the less things it does, the simpler it can be. If someone's coming in, they don't have to wonder, like, do I want on-chain Bitcoin? Do I want Lightning Bitcoin? Which one is it? It's try to take away as much thinking as possible is what I'm thinking. So yeah, I mean, if Bitcoin is to succeed, people are always going to need an on-chain wallet, right? It might, like, you're not going to be paying for coffees with it, but on-chain is going to be used, so it's going to need a wallet. I don't know. Does that answer your question? It's not that I hate it. It's just I really wanted it to be focused, right?
I think it's a good answer. The reason I ask is because I look at my own experience again. Like I only have my own experiences to draw, and I hear what other people say, and we get people in the chat and stuff saying it'd be nice to have this, nice to have that. Great example. This node that Len put together for me, right? Like he's got the best of intentions, but the UI is intolerable. The node sync process it's like embarrassingly bad for an asset that's worth $1 trillion. And you kind of go down the line of all these things that are problematic. And you could make the case that the reason these things are problematic is because people are trying to be too clever by a half. We have to use Linux. We have to use knots. We have to sync full nodes instead of pruning. We have to do lightning. We need to have all this functionality. The only functionality I think you need is for the thing to fucking work.
Yeah.
And in Bitcoin, like it's true that a lot of people come to Bitcoin who are technically savvy. At least that was true for the first 12 or 13 years. Now the people coming don't know shit about Bitcoin, and oftentimes don't know shit about like cryptography, GUIs. Like they need stuff that just works intuitively. It has to look like a COD menu, like it's got to be that easy. Otherwise, they're not going to stick around. And I like that about this wallet. I even like just now I was kind of comparing it to the blue wallet interface and the green wallet interface. I don't know how you used green wallet without unaliving yourself. I think it's a terrible product. I think this, like even syncing to a Jade is a terrible experience. The blue wallet is fine, but it's just too busy. There's too much shit going on that screen all the time. There's no real indication. Again, like from a user interface experience, if you consider what the iPhone or an Android looks like, everything is obvious. There's signs that things are clickable or functional or give you menus. Meanwhile, in the blue wallet, everything is basically clickable, has a hold function, but you don't actually know that until you try. And then I look at yours, and what I see is like some care paid to, okay, here's what this thing does, like the QR code. It doesn't matter if the QR code is to import a wallet watch only, like I just did in one go, no problems, or is it a send address or receive address? That gives you the prompt. I tried a receive address from one of my other Sparrow wallets. Right away, this thing asked me if I want to send. And I'm looking at this now. It wants me to back up my wallet. I haven't obviously written any of the seed words down, but it's that kind of stuff is invaluable, and it's just not present anywhere. Everyone in Bitcoin is talking about, in my opinion, like I would say the wrong things a little bit, and it sounds like it's your opinion too, and maybe also the opinion of OpenSats. So why don't maybe we'll move from the why to what people can expect from this wallet in terms of functionality. You mentioned coin control. Maybe we don't talk a lot about this on the show, Praveen. So tell people maybe what coin control is and why it's valuable as a Bitcoiner that you exercise coin control when you're doing transactions.
Yeah. Honestly, before I get that, I kind of want to expand on what you're saying, because I think I'm like, maybe this is a grand goal, but like I'm hoping Cove does really well, obviously, but then I'm hoping people will take inspiration from that and like do stuff like that with Bitcoin. Like, I mean, like Umbrel is a pretty good example of like, paying attention to user experience and stuff. But I think we need more of that. Like Bitcoin, yeah, I think it's because it started with a lot of technical people. They have the, things you'll hear all the time. It's like, oh, what? Lightning's easy. Oh, running a node is easy. You're like, what are you talking about? But like, that's just technical people sticking their heads in the sand. It's not easy. Like, I don't care how many times you say it, right? Like, the fact that there's a market for Umbrel, like, node in a box means it's not easy. It's not a nice experience. Like, there was this argument with Bitcoin All Caps and Stefan Rivera about, like, Bitcoin All Caps is all about, just run your own node on your laptop. And, like, we're trying to tell them that, like, we get it. You can do it, like, you run Linux, whatever. And it's like, yeah, you can do it. Is it a nice experience? No. So I do think we need more I don't know, just like more Apple-like user experience.
People don't want to hear that, Praveen? Like when you tell them that, like even on this show, like Len, again, like he's not here to defend himself, but we talk all the time about how I shouldn't have an iPhone, and I'm just like, why? The security is what? Is it 1% worse than Graphene OS, and the user experience is 1 million x more pleasant? Everything just works better. I don't have to worry about the shit freezing up or everything being a shitty Android port from an iPhone original app. Like, but it's hard to explain that to the Bitcoiners. God bless All Caps. I've seen All Caps at meetups, pint in hand, setting up nodes for people he doesn't know on laptops. So like he's all in. Like, it's not an act. I think a lot of people should appreciate that attitude from him. But it's just not for everyone. And not only that, but like, listen, I know that a lot of Bitcoiners are not married, but I really can confirm it by the number of Bitcoiners who think that their wife is just going to be cool with this fucking 20-year-old laptop disk spinning all day long. What are you doing? I'm verifying the supply. Like, no, your wife doesn't want to fucking hear that. You need something that's like at least somewhat aesthetically pleasing, it's aesthetically defensible in your house. It's not going to be good for you otherwise.
I had to turn the fan off on my stupid Raspberry Pi because it was too loud for the wife. Right? It's a tiny fucking fan, but like she's like, oh, what is that going all day long?
Shut that off.
Yeah. So on that note, I've been trying to. she's like my first test subject for the wallet because I'm like, okay, like look at the screen. What do you think it does? Right? So yeah, if it works for her, I think she's a good first pass for sure.
I love it.
Yeah. What was your question though?
Well,
before
I want to ask you like why or like what's next. You talked about coin control. I'm curious. What else can you do with a layer 1 wallet? It seems to me like you would, in any other case, iterate functionality as Bitcoin expands functionality or whatever. But I get the feeling there's not going to be too much more on layer 1 on this thing. Maybe I'm crazy, but that's the feeling I get. And you don't want to do layer 2s, so you got the coin control stuff coming. What else you got coming? And what are you thinking about adding?
So the thing I'm working on right now is tap signer support. I've been working on it longer than I thought, but I mean, I have screenshots I can show you.
Send it. Are they in the stuff you sent me today?
No, but I can screen share.
Yeah, do it.
Let's do it in a bit. But yeah, let me just answer this question. I think the main thing is I'm okay with this being done. That's the other thing. People make software and they're always trying to add to it and like blah blah blah. Keep at it. Like how can you innovate? Like whatever. Like it's not it's an open source product. Like I'm okay with it one day being done. But that being said, there's a lot to do. Like yeah. So the big ones are coin control and tap signer, SAS card. And then I want to someone contacted me that they're doing another NFC type wallet. So just different wallets to support. Right now QR codes I support BBQR because like basically I use cold cards like I always have, right? So obviously I'm going to support the ones I have first. But some other wallets use a standard called UR, so I'm going to support that.
What is that standard? What is the difference there?
It's just another basically animated QR code standard. I do not like it, right? BBQR I was able to understand in like 10 minutes. It's super simple. It's like Grug Brain. Okay, like this is how like UR. There's like a deprecated one. There's like a version 2. I don't know which one is using. Like it's a bunch of shit. I tried for like an hour. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna push this off and do other stuff first, and then come back to it. But then there are like two things that I'm thinking of that I'm pretty excited about. Have you heard of PayJoin?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to see what that would look like.
PayJoin, for people who don't know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it's a way to hide senders in a transaction, right? Do I have that? Or recipients in a transaction, I should say?
Yeah, from what I understand, it's like it's like doing a coin join on a transaction. Like something like if I'm sending you coins, we can like we can like basically create a transaction where we're both sending each other coins, and like a part of it goes to you and the rest comes to me. So it kind of just like obfuscates a lot of stuff.
Nice.
And I think I've heard a lot of like it's best if like exchanges do it. I think because since they send to a lot of people, I think can kind of mix those coins. Okay, not too sure. Been busy with this, but I know because recently there was this PayJoin version 2 thing came out.
Yeah.
That's like can work async, so you don't have to be online the whole time. So I'm looking into that, and I know Francis and Bill Bitcoin guys. I think they might have sponsored that or like
they did. I think they use it or are thinking about adding it. Yeah.
So I think the more wallets and more exchanges that support that'll be great. So that'll be number one. The other thing is I don't know if you've heard of Joinster. I also want to look into that.
No.
It's basically a coin join using Nostr. Right?
I like that.
So basically,
I like
Nostr
that.
as a coordination. So want to look into, hey, can I add this to mine? And the other one would be silent payments.
Joinster. This is intriguing to me because there's a lot of sats floating around on Nostr, right? It makes sense to have some coordinator there. Joinstar, STR. I don't know. It's probably not going to be the first result on Google, but. Oh, here it is. Yeah, decentralized coin join implementation using Nostr. Yeah.
Yep.
Ah, okay.
Right.
Oh,
So that'd
this
be
is
cool
fun.
if we can add it to that. Yeah, and then silent payments, I think, which is like the other standard. It's like paynims where basically you can reuse addresses. So, there's a lot of different BIPs like that. People are still like innovating on chain and a lot of like privacy and stuff. So, I think there will always be like a couple things to add. new wallets to support that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's basically where it's going next.
So
Well, also the big thing is right now I only have an Apple version or iOS version, so next couple months I'm gonna be working on the Android version.
are you thinking about doing desktop?
I kind of go back and forth on this. I don't know because like Sparrow is really good. It does a lot. So like it's not the most user friendly. Like just because it does so much. Like but people that start with Ledger Live is all like just dead simple. Right?
Unbelievably easy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there could be like a market there, but I don't know. Yeah, honestly, you gotta ask me in a little bit. We'll see how this goes, right? Here's my thing. My thinking is like if you're really new and you don't want something complicated, you might just end up using your phone anyway, right? So Cove is there. As you're ready to move on and like learn about more stuff, and you want to use the desktop, I think Sparrow is still like a great option for that, right? And so. Right now, mostly what I want to really focus on is trying to make it easy to use with Sparrow. Like, for example, you know how you can do labels on Sparrow?
Yep.
So I've made it really easy to import those labels into Cove. So I talked to
That's
Craig,
great.
and he actually helped with this because what he did was he added a way to export the labels as BBQR. So you can get the labels onto your phone with just scanning a QR code. So that's going to be my focus basically.
Why do you think this might be out of turn, but like why do you think Sparrow never opted for a mobile wallet? I wonder that a lot because it's even if they strip down the functionality, it would still be, again, like in my opinion, better than most of the stuff I've seen. What do you think his thinking was, Craig Ross?
I'm not sure, but but he's also a one-man shop, right? Like it could just be, and it's a lot of work what he's doing, because he's also right now he's keeping up with all the USB connection stuff. So he's supporting basically all these wallets, and like they all talk through the USB interface differently. So it's a lot of and like it's not stripped down at all, right? So he supports multi-sig wallets. Side note, that's another thing Cove will not support. We're not going to do multi-sig. Okay. Right? It's only going to be single sig. So I just think like he's a smart guy, and he's like, I don't want to speak for him, but like if I had to guess, it would be like Sparrow on desktop is great. It's taking up my time. I don't need to try and expand into other stuff. I'll let someone else handle the mobile, and I'll just make the best wallet for desktop.
I think you're probably right about that. That's the thinking that I would have, but I wanted to get your opinion. You're obviously 100 degrees closer to this than me. What do you like? You've talked a lot in the past, not necessarily on the subject of Cove, but like I've known you for a few years. I've been in a few group chats, and I often see you talking about security and protecting your Bitcoin, ways to protect your Bitcoin, and some of the vulnerabilities that may or may not creep up with some of these wallets and wallet interfaces. Talk to me about the Cove security. People, I think generally, Praveen, are hesitant to use a hot wallet on their phone. Bitcoiners, guys like you and me, I think, who have been around long enough to see all these things happen. And God knows, like most of my vulnerable moments, my phone is available. Like I'm drinking at a bar, I'm sleeping, I'm playing sports, my phone's in my bag. At the gym, my phone's on the bench or something. I'm not looking at it. Like people, I think, correctly assess the phone to be a place where you shouldn't have a wallet and shouldn't have any Bitcoin. You're obviously trying to get people to change their view there if that's a view they have. So maybe two questions, right? Maybe one, why should people consider having some Bitcoin on a hot wallet that's a quality hot wallet? And two, what security measures did you take to make sure that in the unlikely event that the cardio bunny snatches your phone while you're hitting two wheels on the bench, what are you protecting them with?
So my tongue-in-cheek answer for this will probably be the number one security feature that I put into Cove is really good hardware support, right? Because with Green Wallet, you're probably going to use it as a hot wallet, right? Like, because you can't use our hardware. So one of the major goals of Cove is just like let's reduce the total number of hot wallets, not necessarily increase it, right? So by giving, by making it really easy to use with a hardware wallet, I'm hoping like you won't need to use it as a hot wallet, right?
Beauty.
So obviously a hot wallet. At one point, I even considered doing this as a cold wallet only wallet.
Wow. Okay.
But decided against it because like I still want like a good top of funnel for people new to Bitcoin. So the idea is just create a hot wallet on your phone, but get into some kind of hardware wallet as soon as possible. Like Tap Signer is super easy, super cheap. I've seen people being like, I would never use my wallet on a phone, which is true if you're on a hot wallet. But if it's on a cold wallet, then like if you don't have your hardware wallet, it's just a watch only wallet, right? You can't do anything with it. But then long answer for security is I'm thinking about that a lot. Like obviously just following best practices, just like encrypting the seeds that are on the device. Another thing I might want to look into is like I want to see if I can like encrypt the hot wallet with like a 2FA keys, like for people that use it, or like with a pin. So like the unencrypted, like it's not, you can't access it without like a pin, for example. That makes things harder. And then like my thinking is like, if I'm going that halfway, I might as well just say use a Tap Signer, because that's kind of like what it's designed for, right? To use with a mobile wallet, and like hopefully more people come out with this kind of stuff. But some other interesting hardware security features I have is I have a White Me pin. So yeah, if you have a pin 0000, you can add a new pin 1111, for example.
Let's see. I'm gonna fire it up.
Yeah, it's in settings.
Yeah.
So you gotta create a pin first.
Yeah.
So create a pin, and then so there's right now I have two trick me pins. There's the decoy pin, and there's a White Me pin. So White Me pin is if you someone's like, give me your freaking money, you put in the White Me pin, it'll delete everything on Cove, and it'll log you in to an empty wallet, basically.
This is very good. This is a feature that Cold Card also has. So I've done this on my device here. You can see my wallet, Cucumber Water, and then down here, now that I have the pin, there you go, the White Me pin enabled. That's great. So you can actually just put that in, decoy pins, White Me pins. Yeah. You can use Face ID. Do you have an opinion on Face ID? People don't like it as a security feature for this kind of stuff. Where do you come down on that?
It depends. So if you use a decoy pin or a White Me pin, you can't use Face ID because that doesn't make sense, right? Like you don't really get a chance to enter the pin. So
if my wife's face unlocks it, then it deletes the wallet. That could be a feature. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be cool if Apple lets you do that. But yeah. So decoy pin, as you can probably imagine, is like you can have a complete different set of wallets in decoy mode. But yeah, Face ID. I like the option, I don't see, like, if I'm, like, I know if you're, like, going across borders and stuff, they can force you to give up your biometrics, but they can't force you to give up your PIN, so that's an interesting thing. But if you want to use it, it's there, right? Like, I don't want to take a hardline stance. Like, maybe some people only have, like, some, like, cash wallets on there and, like, a couple $100, just like, let me unlock it with my face. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. I do, like, I kind of like Face ID, but I do also sympathize with the people who have concerns. But I mean, for your uses, you're right. The PIN is kind of the important thing, much like the Cold Card devices, much like, I think maybe Jade does this. I don't know if the current model ledgers or Trezors do it, but this like decoy PIN I think is pretty important because, if you do get into a situation where someone has you and the device, then you have to have a way to at least buy time or pretend you don't have the Bitcoin you said you had or whatever, right? So it's like kind of a difficult situation you find yourself in, and you need that option. I mean, this is a quality product. I think if I look at the interface, I look at the wallets you've chosen to integrate as far as the Cold Card and all the CoinKite products, it sounds like, along with a few others. It's quality. Now the natural sort of next question is, are you going to integrate some of the not so popular wallets amongst Bitcoiners? Can you even integrate them? Stuff like the Ledger Trezor, I don't know what's another one, like the Keystone. There's a handful of these wallets that are sort of 1B type with their own set of problems. Even stuff like the new XYZ wallet, the block wallet, right? What is that thing called? I forget now. It looks like a stone, but
Oh yeah, I forget. But
I can't
yeah, they have
remember.
their, like, own app.
But people, I mean, in my circle anyway, and it sounds like yours as well. It's basically coin kite or die. Are you ever going to try and make these other wallets compatible with the product? Do you want to? Do you care? Or as a developer, are you on a mission to make these other wallets obsolete? And part of that mission is making sure that they don't work with Cove. What kind of mission are you on?
No, I definitely want to integrate with other wallets, but the way we're gonna do it is I'm not integrating anything specific, right? Like even with CoinKite, I'm not working. I think the only thing specific I'm integrating with CoinKite right now is the tap signer, because that's a very specific thing, right? But everything else, like, is I'm using if your wallet uses PSBTs, we can use it using files, right? You can move. If it uses BBQR QR codes, you can use it with my with Cove. So I think another wallet that uses BBQR QRs is Crux. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's like kind of like a do-it-yourself wallet.
Okay.
And then so later when I support UR QR codes, the UR format, then I think that will bring in Jade support, Passport. I think Tab. What's the one that they run on like a Raspberry Pi? Signer,
Seed signer.
Seed signer. Yeah, we'll support that. So yeah, so I'm gonna support like the standards. So it's gonna be PSBTs, BBQR, UR. So if your wallet uses that, it's compatible.
So this is interesting. I didn't realize that there wasn't too much proprietary tech in these wallets in terms of like integration with software. Is this the case for like most of the wallets, all the wallets then?
Yeah. So if it's like a wallet you plug in to USB, I know a lot of that is proprietary. So a lot of like Craig's work and like a lot of people do work on there's I think it's called HWI, hardware wallet interface.
Okay.
Maintained by, I forget who it is, but basically that it's like it supports all these wallets, and like all their like formats are a little different. But when it comes to air gap support, there's not that many standards, right? So there's like you need to either, there's only a few ways to move the BB, like the transaction, right? Usually it's in like a PSBT form, so you can move it with files, you can move it with NFC, or you can move it with QR codes.
PSBT, for people who are not keen on this, is partially signed transaction. So a Bitcoin wallet like Cold Card, for example, especially if you're air gapped, maybe only if you're air gapped, half the transaction will happen on your Cold Card. Then you take it out, you sign it on your Sparrow wallet, or vice versa, I should say. You start the transaction on your Sparrow wallet, export it, sign it on your Cold Card, bring it back, and then broadcast. So it's like it's like half signed by the software, half signed by the hardware, and then sent out on whichever device is internet connected.
Yeah, I know it's called partially signed, but like the I don't think the software wallet like doesn't actually do any signing, right? Because their private key is
yeah.
In the hard.
So what would you say it does? Just kind of like create it initiates the first bit of it. Is that it? Like I don't know how you describe it.
It basically puts the transaction together, right? So, you're basically saying I'm moving these UTXOs.
Yeah. The fee structure is in there too.
Amount. You're basically saying these are my inputs and these are my outputs, right? Because that's the entire transaction, just inputs and outputs, and then you give it to the hardware wallet and you say sign it. Basically,
I like it. I think this is a great product. Do you want to tell people anything else before we go? Like I asked you today if I could get in the test flight. I don't want to guarantee people a spot in the test flight. But if you have that app, maybe you can keep an eye on the Cove app in there and see if Praveen opens up a few slots. But if I missed anything, Praveen, like the floor's all yours, man. Tell people more about it, more about where they can find it, like dates. I don't know. Is this thing even in beta yet? Like what is the version number here?
Yeah, it's in beta right now. There's plenty of spots open now. I started with like 25, but I think there's like 150 people in it now, so I upped it to 250 spots.
I'm going to put the link in the YouTube chat here, and I'll put it in the show notes too.
Yeah, I can show you screenshots if you want.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's look at some stuff.
So I'm working with a designer. Like it's basically just me and then designer part time. That's the other thing. There's a lot of ugly, there was a lot of ugly software in Bitcoin. How do I share this? All right, here you go.
Yeah, it is true. Like you need somebody with an eye for color and things of this nature. Okay,
So
let's see what's
without
Praveen got here.
So
Ooh.
shout out to Adrian. He actually he's a Canadian as well. I met him when I was there. Right? So like I've known him for a while. So yeah, he's been helping me. Okay, so let me show you. So this is basically have you used the tap signer before?
I have seen one used, but I don't own one myself.
Okay, so this would be basically you tap this tap signer to the back. This is what I'm working on right now, so I'm showing you basically. There's a starting pin in the back, so you give it that, you get your new pin, and basically then you take into a new wallet, right? I think the one I want to show you is coin control, which I'm working on next. Me and Adrian
I love a
were
good
working
coin
on
control
this,
UI.
and,
I think Sparrow's coin control is so good, but the UI still leaves a little bit to be desired.
yeah, so I'm pretty proud of this. What we came up with. Let me know what you think. Right. So basically, the way it would work is we're not gonna let you do coin control through the normal send flow because we want to keep that like really simple. So we're almost gonna have two different send flows, right? So if you want to do coin control, basically you're gonna have like an advanced screen where you can see your UTXOs, right? And this is what it would look like. And from here you can just search.
You can search like labels,
Yeah.
amounts, dates. That's wicked. Okay.
Yeah, and you will be able to what's it called? Order, right? You pick the ones you want to send, right? So here, continue with 3, whatever, and then from there, from that set, you can decide exactly how much you want to send, right? So whatever, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. And then you get taken to the normal send screen where it shows you how much you're sending, where you're sending it to, and yeah, basically the wallet you're sending from, and
Nice.
the fees and stuff like that.
And so that allows you to. So when you're done, okay. So maybe can you do like, are you gonna put any privacy functionality in this, like coin join, any of that stuff down the road? Like I know this was popular for a long time. I don't know how many people are still using coin join for every transaction, but
yeah. So I know CoinJoin right now is not. Like nobody's running a coordinator. That's why I'm looking at Joinster, because I guess there's no I need to look into it more. But yeah, if I could integrate Joinster, that'd be cool, for sure.
I like this idea. It looks great, Praveen. I gotta say, like you deserve some kudos and some congratulations. It's a well designed product. Thank God you decided to work with a designer. Like some of the shit online is just unbelievable. I saw this like Apple Watch fee widget, and I wanted to try it out the other day. So like on your phone, instead of my watch constantly telling me that my heart rate's fine, it'd be nice to see like what the transaction fees are. It is the ugliest thing in the world. And you go to the App Store and look for more stuff related to Bitcoin. It's ugly. It doesn't work. The stuff is like, it's half-assed, half-hearted, and seems to have like, no passion for the project. And then I look at this and I think, like, why can't everything look like this? It's a dark mode already. Everything is colorful, is clickable, it's legible. The kerning on the text makes sense. Little stuff like that you just don't see in a lot of other apps. So, you've done great work here.
Honestly, props to OpenSats because they're sponsoring the designer as well. So it's a part-time one. But basically, I mean, the reason is like not a lot of developers, including me, are good at design. Like I can look at the design and know if it looks good or not, but I have no idea how to make it look good, right? Like I think I have an example. So Adrian worked on these screens for me.
Those look great. They look good.
These
They look really good. Yeah.
And then I needed an extra screen. So I try to kind of take what he has and made these, right? It's all right because I'm kind of using his elements, but I'm like, all right, can you fix this up for me? And then it is this. Much nicer, right?
Right? Yeah, it's just like clearly better, but you can't articulate exactly why.
Yeah, I mean, I know why it's better. I just don't know. I don't know if I could have gotten there without him, right?
Yeah.
In the first place. So yeah, props to OpenSats. Because maybe that's the issue. Maybe people are willing to sponsor devs, right? But maybe there's I don't know. Maybe there's less designers interested in Bitcoin. Maybe there's grants available for designers. But honestly, the way we've been working has been perfect, right? Full-time developer, part-time designer, just two people. I run my because he's also good at UX, and he's very new to Bitcoin, so that also helps. So I explain to him how Bitcoin works, and all right, like, what do you think about this UX? And we bounce ideas off each other, and then he goes and designs it. It's great. Like, I would highly recommend, like, yeah, people do something like that. Like, you really need a designer as well.
How do you apply for an OpenStats grant?
You just write a proposal, basically. Like, it's on their website. You basically say what you're gonna do, why they should fund you, how you plan to do it, and then there is some like proof of work, like why they should give you the money. So like, you know, like what have you done in the past to convince us that you can actually pull this off, kind of deal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
It's that easy. You know, what's the meme now? You can just do stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, surprisingly, sometimes it works out. It seems to have worked out here. When are you going to be ready to release?
I'm going to say like a couple months. So
yeah.
Almost done Top Signer. Then I'm going to finish, what was the word I'm looking for here? Coin Control. And once that's done, so people are actively testing it out. Haven't gotten like too many bug reports, and nobody's like, I've lost all my money. So that's good. So obviously going to test it out a bit more. And test out the new features, but when I feel confident in like that everything's working well, I'll release the iOS app, and then I'll continue to work on Android, and then a few months from then probably do that, like a beta launch for Android as well, and then full launch for that.
Very strong. Tell people where they can find out more about you, more about the project, and we'll wrap it up.
Yeah. I'm Praveen Perera on Twitter, X, whatever.
It's his account's in the show notes already on YouTube.
Yeah, I also have a Nostr. I use it sometimes. It's pretty good. It's just like sometimes like it's weird actually. Sometimes I get better engagement on Nostr, sometimes better engagement on Twitter. So I have been using both more often. Cove Wallet. Or CoveBitcoinWallet.com. I don't even remember.
It's Cove Bitcoin
website.
Wallet.
CoveBitcoinWallet.com. On X, it's just Cove Wallet. Yeah, get into the test flight, test it out. It is beta, so you know, don't put all your money on it. But
tread lightly. Yeah, tread lightly.
But if you are using it with a hardware wallet, the damage radius is obviously pretty limited because like we're not actually handling the money, and Cold Card does a good job of kind of verifying, like, are you sending it to the right place and all that. And also, this is built on a software thing called BDK. I don't know if you've heard of BDK.
Bitcoin Development Kit, yeah.
Yeah, BDK is great. So without BDK, I wouldn't have been able to do this in this time because they handle a lot of like the cryptography, the money handling code. So, you know, they let me actually spend time on making the UI nice and the UX. So thank you to BDK guys, Steve, and all those guys there. So, yeah, and then that's good. So you don't have to trust me that I'm smart enough to handle all the cryptography because I'm not. I'm just kind of making a nice UI for it.
It looks great. Thanks for listening, watching, everybody. Try out Cove. If you have questions, send Praveen a DM. He likes pictures of feet as well. Until next time, take care of yourself.